If you've been researching Fort Myers neighborhoods, I'd be willing to bet that Gateway has come up at least once, and for good reason. It's one of the best communities in Southwest Florida. Hey, I'm Jessica Gatewood. I'm a Fort Myers native, and I've been selling real estate here in Southwest Florida since 2009. Today, I'm going to walk you through what it's really like to live in Gateway and decide if it's the best fit for you. Today, I'm walking you through the pros and cons of living in Gateway so you can decide if it's the best fit for you. So let's start with what makes Gateway special. That is the location. Gateway sits right off 75 between Daniels and Colonial. So that puts you minutes from the Southwest Florida International Airport, RSW, and a short commute into Cape Coral or into downtown Fort Myers. So if you travel for work or you have family that is coming in and out, that proximity to RSW is really hard to beat. In that employment corridor right inside Gateway, Neogenomics, Gartner, the FBI field office, just to name a few, that is a work commute that a lot of people in Southwest Florida would dream about. The second big pro is the flood zone designation. Gateway is largely in flood zone X, which is the lowest risk designation with FEMA. That means you may not even be required to carry flood insurance depending on your loan. You always can choose to carry flood insurance, but in flood zone X, that is going to be just basically a base rate. In today's insurance climate in Florida, that is a massive financial advantage. You will always hear me say, check the flood zone before you fall in love with a home, or if you call me with an address, the first thing I'm going to tell you is what flood zone it's in, because that is a huge factor, not only for your peace of mind, but for your monthly budget. So Gateway tends to check that box very well. Third pro is that this is a true master plan community, and honestly, the first one that I remember in Fort Myers. Obviously, I was a child when it was built, but I remember going to some summer camps in there and things like that. We're talking over 3,000 acres of walking trails, biking trails, parks, soccer fields, dog parks, community pools. There is the club at Gateway, which is an 18-hole golf course. The landscape in Gateway is mature. We're talking large oaks and palms that were planted decades ago. And I don't know about you, but there's something about some old oak trees that just feels like home to me. It feels established and polished in a way that the newer communities that are around just don't have that same feeling. Hard to explain, but I feel like if you know, you know. And then another major advantage that if you're not new here, you've heard me talk about is Gateway is not within city limits. So you are only seeing county property taxes if you are living in Gateway. That's another huge financial advantage to living in Gateway. Okay, now let's talk about the cons because, I'm always going to give you the full picture. The first one is price. Gateway is not a real budget-friendly community. Single-family homes under 2,000 square feet are going to run anywhere between $400,000 to $700,000. The median sale price is hovering about $475,000 right now. Condos and townhomes can start a bit lower, but if you're looking for an all-around more affordable price, there are other areas in Fort Myers and the surrounding area of Gateway that are more affordable. Gateway is more the mid to upper range homes. All right, the second con is that this is not a walkable community in the traditional sense. Once you're inside the neighborhood, you can definitely, hop in the golf cart and ride up to Gateway Boulevard and grab a bite to eat at one of the restaurants or, stuff like that. But in the real sense of like walking up to the grocery store, but getting anywhere else like Publix or Target, the doctor, you are going to need your car. And while the access to I-75 is ideal, sometimes usually during like peak snowbird season, and then I have to mention baseball season when the Red Sox are here and the Twins, they're both like, Sox are off Daniels right outside Gateway, and the Twins are off 6 Mile, which is like the next intersection up. So that time of year is like extra especially congested on that side of town in the Daniels corridor. So that can feel pretty annoying. But for most people coming here from out of town or even from another city in Florida, our traffic is nothing. So take that for what it is. Also worth noting that homes in Gateway are sitting on the market a little bit longer. I feel like that's a trend for all of Southwest Florida, but Gateway is sitting at about 100 days on market average, while the national number is about 53 days. So that means that buyers have a little bit more power. We're seeing things like obviously negotiations off list price, and then even concessions towards closing costs or buying your rate down, things like that. Third, and this is really just a personal preference or a lifestyle thing, but within Gateway as a whole, there are about 30 sub-communities. Each of these subcommunities has their own HOA and own set of rules. So it is very important that you pay attention to that. When I say rules, this is as far as how many pets you can have, if any, fences, rentals, your parking restrictions. All of those things are different from one community within Gateway to the next. If you have your eyes on Gateway or a specific property in Gateway or a specific property in anywhere in Southwest Florida, give me a call and shoot me the address, and I can go over the things like that, the HOA restrictions for that specific property or flood zones, what projected insurance costs are, all of that kind of thing. Anytime, don't hesitate to reach out to me for any of those questions. The best way to contact me these days is to set an appointment on my calendar. That link is in the description below. That ensures that I am available and not distracted. All right, so who is Gateway best for? Honestly, it's great for families who are looking for top-rated schools, access to major employers, and insurance affordability. It's great for professionals who are traveling through RSW continuously, or if you have family that is coming in and out of town to visit you. It's a great location for flight traffic. And it's great for anyone who wants a polished, amenity-rich community without the coastal price tag. If that sounds like you, I would be happy to show you around. Call me anytime and we can set up a plan of action for your move to Southwest Florida. And as always, don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of my future videos. I'll see you in the next one.